All right, welcome back to No Decorum.
Welcome back, folks.
I'm AJ.
I'm Daniel. All right.
And today we're going to talk about a couple of videos. We're going to show you a couple of videos here. One is a Army lieutenant getting roughed up by police. And he's half Mexican and half black.
Therein lies a problem.
Yeah. And the other one is a Marine getting roughed up by the police.
Mm-hmm.
He's white.
Plot twist. Okay. And so we want to show that the comparison in, I guess, police behavior towards these two very different individuals.
Yeah, so what we want to show here is it doesn't matter who you are. The outcome is the same of the video.
Yep.
And the police attitude towards the people. To drive home, we're going to show you these two videos, and then we'll talk about it.
The president of the Isle of Wight branch of the NAACP says they are launching their own investigation into a traffic stop that is now the center of a federal lawsuit. It happened last December in the town of Windsor.
A U.S. Army officer says his Fourth Amendment rights were violated when two town police officers illegally detained him, then pepper sprayed him and threatened to destroy his military career. We want to warn you, some of the video may be hard to watch. As 10 of your side's Brett Hall shows us, it was all caught on the police body camera.
Open the door, get out of the car!
The body camera video is telling. Two Windsor police officers get out to conduct a traffic stop last December with guns drawn.
Keep your hands outside the window!
The man they pulled over?
I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're going to treat me?
U.S. Army 2nd Lieutenant Caron Nazario.
Whoa, hold on. What's going on?
Ultimately pepper sprayed.
Get on the ground!
Can you please talk to me about what's
Get on
going
the ground!
on?
Get on the ground now!
All for what his attorney says was the officer's suspicion that Nazario was driving without a license plate.
This has got to stop.
Jonathan Arthur says his client is a victim of police brutality. In this case, at the hands of officers Joe Gutierrez and Daniel Crocker. Arthur says his client had temporary tags that were displayed in the rear window of the SUV the entire time. In a federal lawsuit, he argues Nazario's Fourth Amendment rights were violated when he was illegally pulled over, detained, and searched by officers.
They knew they were in the wrong, and then they threatened to destroy a man's career if he called him out on it.
After the encounter calms down, in body camera video you can hear one of the officers appearing to explain how he's willing to not charge Nazario for obstruction of justice because the Army would find out if they do. But the officers also maintain they originally became aggressive when Nazario didn't immediately pull over or get out of the car when they requested. Arthur says his client just wanted to make sure he pulled over in a well-lit area, while the lawsuit asks for over $1 million in damages. Arthur says the police department needs to learn this is not okay.
After seeing what I've seen on the body cam footage, it's kind of hard to justify having them serving and protecting anything.
And we've reached out to both the town of Windsor and the police chief for comment. As of right now, we have not heard back.
Colorado Springs now, where another complaint is being filed after police walked into a hospital room and then minutes later, Marine veteran Carl Anderson was on the ground, tased, and handcuffs. This is just feet away from his hospitalized young daughter.
And this was all because of a cell phone. As Denver 7's Eddie Guajardo reports, Anderson is demanding there be consequences for the officers involved.
Give me the cell phone! Get out of the room! Get out of the room! Serious? This is not.
It's this incident captured on officers' body cameras at Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs 2 years ago, under scrutiny in a complaint filed against the city of Colorado Springs, Teller County, and the officers involved.
I'm not leaving my daughter's side.
Carl Anderson Jr.'s 2-year-old daughter, Charlotte, was airlifted to the hospital after he says his fiancée accidentally hit her while driving out of the driveway. Charlotte was in ICU when several officers entered the hospital room. You see an officer attempt to reach for Anderson.
Excuse me, you do not grab anything in my pockets.
Officers wanted to confiscate the parents' cell phones
Just give us the phone and we'll be done.
for an investigation into their daughter's incident.
They never presented a warrant or any paperwork saying that they had authority to take my personal property.
When he refused, officers surrounded him.
I'm gonna go behind you because I don't want anybody behind you getting hurt.
Moments later, Anderson was tased twice, forced to the ground, and handcuffed as his father called for help.
They need to be prosecuted.
Anderson's attorney, David Lane, says there was no reasonable suspicion or probable cause for the violent interaction.
They were not arresting CJ. They were not arresting anyone. So the police have absolutely no right to demand personal property from anyone, absent a warrant.
Anderson is a Marine veteran and served in Afghanistan.
I have the utmost respect for law enforcement.
He says these officers crossed the line and must be held accountable.
I believe these officers need to be fired.
His attorney wants to take it a step further.
Felony assault is what they did. They committed a crime. They should be doing some time.
Anderson was charged for resisting arrest and obstructing a peace officer. Both charges were dropped. Lane says no charges were filed against the parents for Charlotte's injury. Anderson tells us his daughter Charlotte has made a full recovery since the accident.
As you've seen, lieutenant in the Virginia State Police. No, is it state police? No, it's not.
No.
It's township police.
Okay.
Yeah. So they stop him for having no tags on the car.
Right. They pull him over.
Yep.
Right. So so the details, right? He drives to a well-lit area. Is that what he was waiting for?
Yeah, he's when the police try to pull him over, he keeps driving
for his safety and theirs.
Yeah. So that is the justification that he gave afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand it. He wasn't gaining. He wasn't speeding.
Driving erratically.
No, he had turned on his signal light that he acknowledges the police behind him, that he knows that he is about to pull over.
Mm-hmm.
So his indicator was on.
Sure.
And the next stop that he got to was a gas station, and he pulled over. And from there, our police took it to DEFCON 5.
So it escalated, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened is they tell him to get out of the car. And actually, first of all, what they did is they tell him to put his hands out the window.
Yeah. That's clearly the right first step.
Yeah. And then they tell him to get out of the car. So do they want his hands out the window, or they want him to get out of the car? If he takes his hands in the window, then they have a reason to shoot him because they can't see his hands anymore.
Use the extra hand.
Yeah. So first of all, they give him confusing instructions.
Mm-hmm. They conflict.
Yeah. So
he's confused.
Yeah, he's confused. So he keeps his hands out the window and he says, "Why am I being pulled over?" And they explain to him, "Just get out of the car, and we just want to talk to you." And at the same time, another police officer pulls up, and now he's standing at his door, yelling at him, "Get the hell out of the car! Get out now!"
Using profanity.
Giving orders. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
So, and there is a struggle, and in that struggle, they pepper spray him, and then they pull him out of the car.
Did they also pepper spray his dog?
On the dog? Yeah, it went. I mean, when they pepper sprayed him, they pepper sprayed him inside the car.
And that's the real tragedy.
Yeah.
But moving back to the lieutenant. Okay. And I think even one of the officers threatens to tase him, right? Is that right?
No, they didn't tase him, but once they got him out of the car, they kicked him.
I thought he talked about riding the lightning or something. Was that not?
Oh yeah, he said they are going to. He said, "I'm serving this country and this is how I'm being treated." And he said, "You're about to ride the lightning or something," and it's a reference towards electric chair.
Oh, is that what that's?
Yeah.
I thought it was for a taser or something.
No, it's actually an old reference to the electric chair.
Wow, that's pretty extreme.
Isn't it? Yeah.
For failing to pull over. Okay, and now there's a lawsuit because of that, right? Suing the police department.
Yeah, I mean, here Lieutenant tells him that he's serving this country and expecting a better treatment when clearly police does not care.
Yeah.
If you're serving the country. Obviously, nobody else cares either in the country, because this had happened in December, I think, 2020. And this video just came out, and obviously there's a lawsuit. That's why the video came out. And that's when they started noticing these things.
Yeah.
So
the lieutenant thought maybe they're brothers in arms. You know, we're both serving the country, but the police officer said nope.
yeah, he thought that he's going to get a better treatment, but nobody cares. So this is the stuff that, you know, our armed forces, men and women in armed forces, need to think, that this thinking of serving the country, that people care. They don't. Nobody cares.
They pay lip service. They'll say they care.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's easy to say those things. It doesn't really mean very much.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, thank you for your service. What does that accomplishes? Nothing.
That's the very least you can do, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's just a big myth that we always tell each other.
I mean, this actually started after 9/11, because they needed people to serve in the military.
Well,
and to make them feel good about themselves for serving in the military is start this campaign.
Somebody had to invade Iraq. So you gotta have bodies, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you hold it against people who don't say it. You say that they're unpatriotic and they don't care about the troops. And well, no,
actually we do. We don't want them to go to wars. we don't want them to go to war for ExxonMobil
or Halliburton or
any of those people.
Yeah, take your pick. So yeah, it's a little different, but
they're serving their country. Okay, yeah, we want them to stay here. We don't want them to go there.
Oh yeah, it's a very shallow kind of patriotism.
Yeah.
To say that, you know, telling somebody you thank them for their service, that means very much. It doesn't mean much. So.
It doesn't. And this video is a clear example of that he did not care.
Yeah.
If you serve the country, or you're an army officer or what. First of all, he opens the door, and the first thing he asks, are you a corporal or a specialist? So obviously he saw a black guy.
Yep.
In a uniform.
Couldn't be an officer, right?
Couldn't be an officer. Obviously it has to be the lowest ranking military personnel.
Has to be enlisted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. And wasn't he also a military?
I think so.
Ex-military, the police officer?
Yeah.
Well.
But after the video came out, the police department took swift action.
And
by firing him.
Yeah. Which I'm sure he'll get another job very soon.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
At another department.
Yeah.
Behaving the same way. Okay, so that's one story.
That's one. And the other one is out of Colorado Springs.
Right.
This Marine who was arrested and tased. Twice.
It was so nice, you had to do it twice.
Well, they wanted to thank him extra.
I mean, if you have a taser, why not use it, right?
Yeah.
You got to use it.
I mean,
so the details. What do we have here? What happened?
So what happens here is he's in the hospital for his daughter was hit by a car in the driveway by his fiance. So he's in the hospital, and the police shows up. So they're thinking there might be a police case here. You know, intentionally, maybe a child abuse case or something like that. So they try to confiscate parents' cell phones without any warrant, without any cause.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
Why would you need those things?
No. Does the Constitution exist in Colorado Springs?
It may not.
Okay.
Maybe not for police.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to say. You know, they're different rules, different people. So he refuses to give the phone, right?
Yes.
All
he
right.
refuses. He says there is no reason. And the next step for the police is to try to arrest him and tase him. Not once, but they tased him twice.
And at this point, he's in the room with his daughter. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
His daughter is right there.
Is it the ICU?
ICU.
Okay.
And the ICU police is acting this way.
Right.
For no apparent reason. But this happened 2 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
And they're suing. No. What did that officers or the military guy say? He said that he supports the troops or law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he has the highest respect for them.
Wow.
And he supports the police, but in this case, these people should lose their job. And we agree. We agree with that. We agree that these officers do not deserve to hold a badge or gun.
A gun, yeah, for sure.
Or any type of weapon at all.
Or tasers. You're right. Yeah. But yeah, they could still say that after what happened. And looking at the response from, was it the police chief?
Yeah, the police chief, they're saying, well, they cannot comment right now, actually.
Oh, right. That's right. It's under investigation.
Yeah.
Well.
And there is a lawsuit. So after 2 years, this guy files a lawsuit.
But yeah, two very, very similar cases.
But these are the two cases that, it's basically both are, look at the similarities. Both are military personnel.
Mm-hmm.
One is Army, one is Marine. But when the police shows up, the results are the same.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, you're guilty.
Yeah.
You're a criminal immediately.
I mean, police sees everything through one lens. Is they're the hammer and you're the nail. Oof. And you're getting nailed.
That's pretty extreme, AJ. Yeah, and so, I mean, that's just the theme of this whole session, right? We were talking about police brutality and police behavior towards civilians.
So there might be bad apples there, there might be, racist cops out there. But it's more than that.
Yeah, it's a cultural issue, right?
Yeah.
It's like the thread that binds all these together is that there's something in the culture of the police force that allows them to behave this way.
Yeah. So there's something happening more than just being racist. Either they're being trained this way, that when you get to a situation, you are in charge, you are in control of everything from there on.
You can't be questioned.
You can't be questioned. You can't be insulted. Whatever you say goes. And even when you're wrong, you cannot back away from that because it came out of your mouth or you have done something.
And it's got the law behind it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what is this? There's a state now that wants to, or that maybe they've criminalized, I don't know, insulting police officers or.
Yeah, that's Kentucky.
Kentucky did that?
Yeah.
Like furthering the police state, right?
Yeah.
Making it stronger.
Yeah.
Again, I guess when it works in their favor, it's fine. But, these are the ones I was talking about, their mistrust of government. And yet they give the government more power. So, interesting.
Well,
duality
they don't
there.
think police is part of the government. Police is their private security forces.
Until they come for them. And they're underage
until
friends.
Matt Gaetz is...
We're looking at you, Matt Gaetz.
Yeah. Then they become corrupt.
Yeah, and they're corrupt.
That's when the
then you're
FBI is your enemy.
Yep. It's funny how that works out. All right.
So we just wanted to show this thing so people can look at it and say, this is not just race. And I think politicians, especially conservative, especially liberals, they have to change the message. We have to change it from being racist. We need to change it to where it says we need to help the police. We need to change the police by giving them new tools, by giving them new training, by coming up with different answer for some of these things.
Maybe more based on the European model. I know people don't want to hear that sometimes, but their model is vastly different than ours. And they have far fewer shootings than we do.
So yeah, I mean, most of those things are not going to work here because there are a lot more guns here.
Yeah, well, that's another episode.
Yeah. And plus, the foundation of the police is different here. So unless we are willing to abolish totally and start all over again, I don't think that's going to happen. But
all right.
But we can start with training.
Education. Yeah.
Get better standards. So
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Well done. You solved the police problem.